Hello, it's me, Troubadour, and I'm back again with something a little bit different. We're going to be talking about this brand new Super Auto Pets card battle, and y'all, I am so freaking excited for this. So I'm recording this, as you can see from the post here, they just announced it not too long ago. I'll be putting this up the day after I record this, but still very excited about it. I remember them talking about this like on Discord back in like January. They announced that they were making a game and they wanted some people to, sign up to test for it. I signed up for the test, but I didn't get accepted. Here's the window right there. You can see it was like, oh, look, check it out. You could sign up for the play test or whatever. But I did not get selected, unfortunately. And then I didn't hear anything about it, probably because there's an NDA attached to it. And then wake up today or, halfway through the day and it's like, yo, check it out. We got this thing. It's not even on the Discord server, the official Super Autopets Discord server yet. So it'll probably be up by the time this video comes out. But anyway, we're going to be taking a look at this Kickstarter and just seeing it because I'm very excited. In case you don't know me outside of Super Autopets, me and my family like to play a lot of games. Like, we had a whole closet full of board games and card games growing up. Every year, my dad gets a few new games for the family to play, and like me and my roommates play a bunch of, we'll play like some Catan or some Villainous, like a lot, I'm a big gaming guy, even outside of video games. So this is like right up my alley. So let's take a look at this Kickstarter right here. As you can see, it's not very far in, already almost at its goal, which is insane. Look at that. It's already ticking up. That's crazy. So let's take a look at this video. I'll just let it play full.
You love your pets. Your pets love to battle. So let them battle.
On your table!
Super Auto Pets Card Battle. Get pets in the shop phase.
Get pets!
Building a fine-tuned hand of 5 cute critters and treats. Secretly choose their order in the prep phase.
Prepare your deck!
But remember, predicting your opponent's choices is crucial to victory. Send them to battle in the battle phase.
Battle!
The pets attack simultaneously, and as their abilities trigger, hilarity ensues. The last pet standing wins the trophy.
You win!
Can your pets ride the chaos to victory? Or will your opponent read your mind and leave you eating their dust? Find out over the course of 6 action-packed rounds, equipping pets with perks.
Garlic!
Leveling up your pets for secret information.
Hippo!
Gaining stronger and stronger pets until their thirst for violence is sated. And when you are done,
you do it again!
Or heck, maybe shuffle together several packs and play with 4 players. Whether you've spent countless hours with the hit video game or have never heard of it, back Super Auto Pets Card Battle today. Because if you don't, you might make your turtle angry. And you don't want to make your turtle angry.
Do you?
You heard the man. You don't want to make your turtle angry. I should say also, this is not sponsored, by the way. I'm just looking at this stuff because 1, I love Super Autopets, and 2, it just seems like a really cool concept. But anyway, yeah, that's got, cheesy announcer stuff aside, garlic. I think this looks super sick. So let's read a bit about how this card game is and how it works. Super Auto Pets Card Battle. Also check it out. There's going to be expansions. Is a speedy and exciting card duel. Easy to learn, fast-paced, yet highly strategic. This little game comes in a small box, has small footprint on your game table. Fans of card battles will love the ability to get in a quick game or 30, as well as the game's portability. Want something bigger for game night with the game? Each battle pack is a standalone game, but can be combined with other packs to let more players get in on the action. So yeah, it's normally like a 1v1 kind of thing, but using the packs, you can have more players. And you'll still play like one-on-one, but who you play every round changes, Also, let me make this a little bigger. There you go. Now you guys can read it a little better on the YouTubes. But I'll have the link for this below if you're interested. Let's read a little more about this. So, players build their team of super cute pets, organize them in the most clever ways they can, then send them off to auto battle. Winning a battle earns a trophy, and the player with the most trophies after 6 rounds wins the game. So it's a little bit shorter, which kind of makes sense. It's easy to learn and packs a ton of depth. That's Super Auto Pets in a nutshell. All right, first off, shop phase. You buy pets to add to your team. Yo, we got some classics in here, some turtle pack. Each round begins with players taking turns buying cards from the shop. The shop will be filled with adorable pets, each with a power rating, how much damage they do in battle, and an ability that lets them do something unusual. Food cards can also be found in the shop. When paired with a pet, food can give ongoing perks or provide powerful one-time boosts. You can see some of them here, like the apple and the garlic. Let's keep going. Order. Once players have collected their cards, they'll secretly order a team. Players decide the order in which their pets will battle and assign any food to the pets of their choice. Knowing the order in which to place your pets, what food to assign to them, and figuring out how to craftily maximize their abilities is a big part of what makes this game so fun. So yeah, kind of like how you'd arrange your thing in the shop, arrange your team in the shop before you go into battle phase, and do the same thing. So you can see, like in the example here, they have a rat followed by a camel with garlic. You know, like you can do that synergy in the game. Or in the card game, which is super cool. I should say this isn't trying to be like a one-to-one recreation of the video game we all know and love. It's just kind of like inspired by similar idea, but it still looks very fun. Battle your teams head to head and hope to have the last pet standing. Now it's time to battle. Auto battle. So they recreate the auto battle thing by having each reveal your cards, in the order that you placed them. You reveal your pets and bonk them against each other. Each pet damages their opponent, taking into account any abilities and food they possess. This continues until one pet faints, at which point their owner reveals their next pet and the process continues. This is where the zaniness happens as pets interact with each other in devious and unexpected ways. Battle continues until only one player has a pet standing, earning them a trophy. Yeah, and I was reading a little bit more. We'll talk more in depth about the game in a little bit, but once you earn the trophy, you move on to the next tier of pets, and there is a way to like level up and get higher tier pets early too in this game. There's that kind of functionality, which is neat. But we'll talk about that later. Super Auto Pets Card Battle is the smart, fast-playing game you've been waiting for. Easy to teach and great for kids ages 9 and up. Shout outs. I should get my brother to get this for his classroom. He's a teacher. This game has a ton of strategic depth and loads of variability. But what's that you say can never have too much variability? 3 standalone packs. Got the classic pack, the golden pack, and the magic pack. We'll talk more about what specific pets and archetypes are in those packs a little bit later, but it's very similar to how they work in game, like in terms of, you got like trumpets and mana, like you can see there. They're proud to present 3 unique Super Auto Pets card battle packs for this campaign: the classic, the golden, and the magic pack. Each of these is a standalone game, and each is all you need to jump right into the auto battle madness. So if you just want to say screw the classic pack, I mean, I guess you could just play with one of these instead. That's neat. You can collect all 3 and play each one separately and join the unique theming they have to offer, or you can mix them together, creating games where each battle brings new surprises no one could have anticipated. So you can like mix the decks together and be like you're playing custom packs. And you guys know I like custom packs. That's so sick. Also allows more players to jump in the action. Each pack provides enough components for 2 players, allowing games of 4 or 6 players as well. Now you still kind of face one-on-one, but your opponent changes every round. So like tier 1, you face one guy, and then tier 2, you face like somebody else, kind of like that, which is neat. Here's what comes in the thing. You got your pets with a bunch of bees to go with the honey. You got some food with a bunch of apples, which give you attack. You get some gold tokens, trophy, rock dice. Yes, snipes are like a dice roll, which is neat. Damage cubes, shop tile, and first player token. Perfect place to start playing. It's a wide array of power and abilities. Neat. Golden pack, which does have some custom exclusive pets in it, by the way. The raccoon is in the golden pack expansion. You can see it's got trumpet cards, which function as they do in game. There's some pets that will use the trumpets on their abilities. And then if you have any trumpets remaining at the end, once you run out of pets or cards or whatever, you'll summon a golden retriever with that much attack, which is pretty neat. Golden pack brings new pets, foods, and trumpets. Yes, the golden pack brings in trumpets as a resource. In addition to fueling new abilities, if you run out of pets in battle, you can bring in a golden retriever pet with power equal to your remaining trumpets. Now that's a good dog. Also, shouts to them for making expansions based on golden pack and unicorn pack, my 2 favorite packs in the game outside of customs. That's pretty sick. My favorite standard packs. And then we got the magic pack, is what they're calling the unicorn pack, which kind of makes sense. You've got mana, you've got ailments, you've got foods like cornucopia. They get 2 apples. Interesting. Okay. The magic pack brings its own unique fantasy pets and foods, as well as the new mana resource. Build up your mana and unleash spectacular abilities in battle. And they have a link to the entire rulebook, which we will go over in just a little bit because that seems super interesting. They have different reward tiers if you're interested. You can get just the pack and get all 3 of them, or get in this battle box that has like all the pack stuff, and it's got like the special coins and a play mat, and it's got enough space. They even mentioned it's got enough space in case you put sleeves on your cards if you're that kind of person. Oh man, if you like to add a second game pack but not all 3, simply include another as an add-on. So if you want to only get, you know, say the classic pack and the golden pack or something, like that's fine too. So that's pretty sick. Note the incredible value of the battle box. It's the only way to get the battle box. It's a container. It's got all the add-ons basically all in one. Let's see, it's got the play mat. It's got the 3 sets of coin and trophy upgrades, enough for 6-player games. And it can even hold sleeve cards if you put them in sleeves too. And yeah, here you can see the add-ons if you want to get like some metal coins or some play mats. Also, this gives you enough to play with up to 6, which is neat. It gives you additional packs, and then the all-in is literally all that stuff included. There should say there isn't any stretch goals for this. I think they said somewhere like they basically want what you see is what you get. You know, they don't want to like get people's hopes up on something that might not happen. You know, so they're like, this is what we've got. But I should say $20 for like something like this, just the one pack. Like that's not bad. That's not bad at all. That's pretty sick. Also, I love how the playmat looks. That's pretty sick. Oh, and here's a fun extra little thing. Campaign bonus. To celebrate the launch of our Kickstarter campaign, we are adding the Sloth mini expansion to the first printing of the classic pack. That's right. We got the Sloth in the card game too. Oh, man. Basically, as you can see here, it doesn't do anything, but it's put in the tier 4 decks of cards, so you can only get it in the second half of the game. But basically, they're saying, hey, it's like a special challenge. If you win with it and you still have it on your team, you can sign the back of the card. And it's kind of like, you know, people posting their Sloth achievement online. If you win, you know, say you win a game with a Sloth on your team, you get to sign it, and everyone who plays that from then on out knows that you're an amazing gamer who won with a Sloth. That's pretty cool. So yeah, that's pretty sick. Not only secure from pick up Sloth, secure eternal bragging rights by adding Sloth to your team. You can even chronicle your achievements by signing the Sloth's best friend list. I love that. Now here's the shipping. Obviously shipping is going to be a little bit more if you're out of the United States. I think these guys are shipping from the US. Notably, I will say there are some places that are not included. Also, if you live in South America or like Africa or something, I'm sorry, that shipping is insane. Oh man. Also, there are a few countries they can't ship to. So I'm sorry, Brazil. It will not ship to you. I know I got some Brazil fans. That really sucks. But hey, rest of the world, there's your prices. And then there's a little information about how superautopets works. Plaid Hat Games, they're big fans. That's pretty sick. They've played at SAP tournaments at company meetings. That's crazy. These guys, by the way, Plaid Hat, they've made a few other board game or card game things like Dead of Winter, Summoner Wars, things like that. One of their the lead designer is a big superautopets fan and helped contribute and make this happen. So shout outs to Nick Conley, bro. This looks so sick. All right, now let's look at the rewards. So yeah, there's the classic pack. You can get an additional copy of pack or get like just one of the packs and get all 3 and then get all those extra stuff as well. Pretty sick. And then one important thing I noticed when I was reading through the comments, yeah, they said no flex goals. Where was the comment about it? There's no gameplay videos yet. They'll have one soon, so hopefully that'll be pretty sick. Maybe I'll do, if I'm still excited, maybe we'll do another video showing off the gameplay, or maybe I'll talk about it in a stream. Who knows? But that looks really sick. So yeah, now we've kind of talked about the game. Let's look at this rulebook and kind of see how it works. I'll make it a little bigger, just for the people on the internet. Maybe a little smaller. We'll do that. That seems good enough. Maybe a little bigger. All right, that seems like a good size. All right, so the rule book. Check it out. Now, I should say this QR code does not work. Like I said, they didn't currently have any videos on it yet, so this QR code won't take you anywhere. Maybe it'll be there soon. Who knows? But let's read over it. Overview. Create your personal team of pets from those in the shop. Cleverly order them for maximum awesomeness, and then send them off to auto battle. The player with the most trophies after 6 rounds is the winner. The first 11 teach you the general rules. And then they'll have a couple pages, just a little bit of info about the other expansions. And then everything past that is kind of like like answering nitty gritty little details about the game, small questions that might come up. Comes with some stuff. First player token, so basically it changes whoever goes first and whose ability resolves first, which is pretty cool. You get some gold tokens for purchasing, damage, rock is how you do stuff like mosquito and dolphin, and then trophies for winning. Pet cards, you purchase these during the shop phase and go off to auto battle in the battle phase. You can have up to 5 when you enter the battle phase. So you once, just like Super Auto Pets, you have 5 pets on your team. They order them whenever you want. B, by the way, comes from the honey item. It's not like, I don't think it's something that goes into your 5. I don't know. I don't play this game. One important distinction from Super Auto Pets is this hat thing. A pet's hat icon used in the triple action. This is like the card game's version of leveling up. It'll talk about it a little more later. But basically, if you find 3 pets with the same hat icon, you can like discard them or whatever, and then choose one of 2. You draw a couple pets from the next tier and keep one of them, just like leveling up early, which is sick. Hey, you can see right there, Faint, add 1B on top of your deck. There you go. Food cards. Arrange food cards on top of pets in your deck to feed them. Pets can eat any number of food cards, but only 1 perk can be active. Apples are temporary food cards that boost power and are discarded during each trophy phase. Perks. Perk foods give pets bonuses and are kept between rounds and can be eaten by a different pet each round. So basically, like, you can put it on your cricket, and then the next round you put it on your, flamingo or something. If second perk is eaten, you discard the first one. And again, as many apples as you want. Here's what the general game layout will look. Basically, this is the shop right here. These are the tiers of pets with each, you got like your tier 1s, tier 2s, tier 3s, all that. And as you play, you unlock more cards. Here's each of the players. Here's their money for the shop. And then here's like the food shop kind of thing. So yeah. Oh yeah, and the star type for its tier, that's just like the food stuff. All right. Also, you can generate a random name, including the Super Auto Pets, which is pretty funny. That's pretty cool. All right, let's talk about how the game works. Playing a round. Each round consists of 3 phases: shop phase, battle phase, trophy phase. The game is over after 6 rounds have been played. During the shop phase, revolve the following steps in order. First, you reset gold, then you create a shop, and then you do shop turns. So reset gold, you flip your coins, so you've got 3 gold. And then you set the current round's tier deck besides the shop to reveal this round's shop deck. So basically, your first shop will all be tier 1s. Your second shop will all be tier 2s. All tier 3s. Basically, it'll go like that. Now, you can keep pets from previous tiers in your deck as you want, but you won't find any, you won't find fish once you hit tier 2. But that's okay, because tripling, you don't need the same pay. You just need them to have the same hat like the fish and mosquito have here. Shop turns. Starting with the first player, each player takes turns until all players have passed. On a player's turn, they must take one of the following actions. Buy, spend 1 gold by flipping it to its spent side. Then choose to either buy a card from the shop or from the top of the shop deck, adding it to your hand. So basically, you can either draw from the ones available or just take from the top deck and you spend a gold to do that. Now, importantly, it says if you have a buy ability, reveal it and resolve that ability. So one of the pets you buy, you add an apple to your hand. I think that's the otter, yeah. Otter you buy, you get an apple to your hand. Neat. Sell, reveal any number of pets from your hand and discard them. Add 1 apple to your hand for each pet sold. So selling pets doesn't give you gold, it gives you apples. But apples are very useful in battle. We'll see that a bit later. Then you resolve any sell abilities on the sold pets. Food cards cannot be sold. That makes sense. Cool. Triple. This is the hat thing I was talking about. Instead of buying or whatever, you reveal 3 pets with the same hat, and then you discard them, and then you draw 2 cards from the top of the next tier deck, and then you add one of those 2 to your hand and put the other on the bottom of the tier deck. Now note you're discarding, so you do not sell, but you do the triple abilities, and then if you end up picking a buy ability from the next tier, you use that. And then pass. If you have 5 or fewer pets, you may flip over your player reference card to show that you're passing. Once you've passed, you can no longer take actions this shop phase. And once all players have passed, you'll discard the shop deck and display and proceed to that round's battle phase. So basically, for the shop phase, you each have, you spend some time buying some pets, maybe getting some food with stuff like that. So like one person buys, next person sells something, next person does a triple, next person does a buy, next person, like kind of like that, back and forth. Yeah, and then once you have 5 or fewer pets, you can show that you're passing, and yeah, you can have more than 5 pets before you pass. Yeah, you have to only have up to 5. You can go to battle with less than 5 pets if you really want to, but it's probably not a smart idea. I don't know if there's like macaque and stuff in this game. I have no idea, but that'd be pretty interesting. All right, let's talk about battling. So, Battle Pep. You reveal any pets with a Battle Prep ability and activate them. So, like some of these say hurt or whatever. Some of them activate during the Battle Prep phase. What specifically those are, I have no idea. But basically, you arrange your cards however you like. Determine the order in which your cards will be played. The top card of your deck will be played first, and then the next, and the next, and so on. And when you're ready, you place your deck face up in front of you. So you can see here, you'll like, whenever you're done, you'll place it face up so you're ant. So like, you could set it up and you could have the top of your deck be like apple, 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 rat, garlic, camel, and it will happen in that order. And here's how you battle. You each will play and attack, or repeat play attack steps until one or both players cannot play a pet. So play. If you do not have a pet in your active zone, then you play the top card of your deck by playing it in the active zone. If you play a food, you continue to play cards until you've played a pet. If you play a perk food and you already have one, discard the previous one to your fainted pile, which is like your discard, similar to that, but it's a different pile. And then after you play a pet, it eats any food in your active storage zone. Basically, once you play a pet, that food is assigned to that pet, and it gets, it's not like it's reused with anything else. After play eats the next zone, arrange these foods as shown so that they're visible, and the first player resolves any play abilities on their pet. If it was played during the step, the other player does the same. So basically, whoever has the first player token, they will play first. They'll go until they hit a pet, and then they'll stop, resolve any abilities, and the next person will play until they hit a pet. Cool. Once both people have a pet, they attack each other. So each pet deals damage equal to its power to the opposing pet. And you place damage cubes to track the damage dealt to each pet. A pet that receives damage is hurt. If it has damage on it equal to or higher than its power, it also faints. Now note, damage does not reduce how much damage it deals. So basically, see Camel here has a 3 above it. That means it does 3 damage and it has 3 health. So if I attack, say, an ant that has 1 power, my 3 power is better than the 1. That will faint the ant. The ant will do 1 damage to me, so I'll put 1 damage tracker on my Camel card, and so I know it's at 2 health, though it still has 3 power. And also, since it would be hurt, I get an apple on top of my deck. That's pretty cool. But yeah. First player resolves any triggered abilities on their pet, then the other player does the same. If your pet fainted, discard it and all food it has eaten, which is all this stuff, to your fainted pile next to your deck. And here's an attack example. So ant and peacock attack each other. Ant deals 1 damage to the peacock, and the peacock does 2 damage to the ant. You place damage cubes. The ant was hurt and faints. Faint ability triggers, which means you had an apple top of your deck. The peacock is hurt. Its hurt ability triggers, so you would get an apple to your peacock, make it a little stronger, be at 3 power instead. That's pretty sick. Oh, that's actually kind of sick because there's no attack and health. So getting damaged by the peacock increases your power, which is kind of like, increases your max health too, if you think about it in a way. Anyway, that's pretty sick. Here's another auto bat example. So here's each player's decks. They play their first card. We get an ant and an otter. The ant faints and the otter receives 1 damage. The faint adds an apple on top of the deck, so it covers up the fish. So it's your active deck that you're using. Let's see. Which person was which? Hold on. Andreas now has a pet in the active zone, so he plays a card off top of his deck. All right, so he plays ant, and then he plays fish, and he stops when he hits the pet in the play. So that gives him a fish with 3 power versus the otter at 2 power. They attack each other. Fish receives damage. Otter faints. Bada bing, bada boom. You keep doing this until a player runs out of pets, basically. You can no longer play a pet into the active zone. And then we resolve to the trophy phase. If only one player has a pet remaining in their active zone, that player has won the battle and claims the current round's trophy. If neither player has a pet remaining, the battle ends in a draw and neither player claims the trophy and remove it from the game. If the first player claims the trophy, they must pass the first player token to the other player who becomes the new first player. Otherwise, the first player keeps the token. So basically, if you were like, first player for everything and you won, the other person becomes the first player, If you're the first player and you lost, you get to keep it. So that's a pretty cool way of, helping out people who are a little behind. After the trophy phase, you return temporary cards to the supply, so apples and bees, and then all pets and perks return to your owner's hands. And if it was the 6th round, the game is over. Otherwise, start a new round with the shop phase. After the 6th round, players count the trophies. The player with the most trophies won the game. If players are tied, whoever claimed a trophy most recently is the winner. So yeah, that's the basics. Let's take a look at some more details about the game. Golden Pack, y'all know I'm excited for Golden Pack. That's my favorite standard pack in the game. Really interested to see how they translate this to a card game. And you notice it's got like just as many pets and foods and stuff as like the Turtle Pack, Classic Pack, because it can also be played by itself, which is sick. So trumpets are a resource you can gain in the Golden Pack. Not only can you spend them to activate abilities, when your deck is out of pets, you can play Golden Retriever to save the day. When gaining trumpets, you add it to your play area, not to your hand or deck. When spinning a trumpet, return it to the supply. So it's kind of a supply thing like you would with apples or honey, but you don't return it to your hand, okay? When you're out of cards in the battle phase and don't have any pets in your active zone, if you have any trumpets remaining, you play Golden Retriever and its printed power is equal to those trumpets. These trumpets can only be used for other purposes. And then when it faints, you discard your trumpet. So just like in the Golden Pack, if you run out of pets, your Golden Retriever will summon. I guess in Golden Pack, if there's one pet remaining, Golden Retriever will summon. But, similar idea. And yeah, pretty interesting idea. And of course, there's a lot of golden and custom pets in the Golden Pack expansion that are, play a lot differently than the Classic Pack. So it's not just that they add a new trumpet mechanic and that's it. Magic Pack. We get mana. It's a resource you can gain in the Magic Pack, which can be spent to activate spectacular abilities. When gaining mana, you add it to your play area, not to your hand or deck. When spending mana, returns to the supply, but mana is not discarded after each round. Instead, it stays in your play area until spent, allowing you to save and spend it throughout the game. So, unlike superautopets, where if you, finish, like your pet dies, any mana turns into a snipe. Instead, if you don't spend your mana, you carry it with you to the next round. So you could stock up on mana and then hit like a sea serpent in the late game or something. I don't know. It could be fun stuff. Ailments are temporary cards that afflict pets with a negative effect during battle. They're not considered to be food or perks, and there's no limit to the number of ailments. So you can give them like 3 spooked and 2 exposed, which also spooked works a little differently. But yeah, it's really interesting. And then 4 and 6 player modes, so you can play it with more people. It says use at least 2 packs for 4 and at least 3 for 6. So I guess you could use like, more packs, but you need at least 3. So I could put in like 2 of each pack or something. Shuffle all the tier 1 cards together, all the tier 2 cards together, etc. So basically everyone's playing customs. Assign each player a letter. Give one of the extra shop tiles to player A, and this tile be used as a first shopper token. Okay. Players will battle in pairs as shown. Place enough trophies by each tier deck that each battle's winner can get 1. Double for round 6. During shop phase, take turns in alphabetical order, starting with the first shopper. So basically, everyone shares the same shop. By the way, I forgot to mention, if you buy a pet from the shop, you fill it from the deck. So it's not like you're going to run out of stuff in the shop. But you take turns. Everyone buys from the same shop. And then you flip a coin to see who will be the first player for each battle. And then like every round it'll change who you're playing. So like round 1, A plays B, but then the next round, everyone will share the same shop phase, but then A plays C. So that's a really interesting way of, having everyone battle each other, which is really cool. If a game ends in a tie, if only one of the tied players won round 6, they're winning. If still the winner, if still tied, look to round 5, etc. And if any tied players had exactly the same record, share that victory. Cool stuff. And then yeah, a little thing about that. And a little glossary of terms. I'll go over this a little bit. Active zone, played area where pet and food cards are. Faint/KO. A pet faints when it has damage on it equal to or greater than its power. A fainted pet in play still triggers abilities, but it cannot gain power. If a pet causes another player to faint, it has KO'd it. And there are KO abilities like the hippo in the game. That's pretty cool. Hit/hurt. A pet is hurt when it is dealt non-zero damage. Receiving 0 damage counts as being hit, but not as being hurt, which is just like how it works in the game. Power. A pet's power is its printed power plus any power added from food or other pet abilities. A pet's power is not reduced when it takes damage, and a pet faints when it has damage on it equal to or greater than its power. Rocks. These are the dice you roll. Throwing one or more rocks means rolling that many rock dice, counting the number of rock icons rolled, and dealing that much damage to the opponent's active pet unless other targets are specified. Rock damage is considered to be a single instance of damage. So, like, if something tells you to roll like 2 rock dice or something, like I think later an example with Badger does 2 rock dice to both active pets. It's not like you're hitting them, like say I'm doing 2 rock dice on a pet, that doesn't mean I'm hitting them twice. I'm just adding the 2 and it counts as 1 instance of damage for things like hurt abilities. Set aside. Some abilities tell you set aside a card. In this case, you can decide the play area as a reminder to use this effect as indicated. Pets that are set aside are considered fainted but are not in your fated pile. When resolving an ability that checks for the number of fainted pets, like Shark, interesting, set aside pets do count as fainted pets. Good to know. Advanced timing. So if things get complex, this is the exact order for handling a complex situation. I'm just gonna kind of like scroll over this, but you know, once we actually get the game in our hands, I'm sure this will be useful. Here's another example of a battle. So they each play a top card of their decks into the active zone. Both pets have play abilities, so both are resolved. This guy rolls 3 rock dice. This guy rolls 1 rock dice. Interesting, there's a 0 on the rock as well. That's pretty troll. That's pretty funny. Mosquito faints. Matthias plays Flamingo. Dolphin, the Flamingo attack each other. Dolphin receives damage and it faints. The Flamingo also faints. Since it faints, you add apples on top of the deck. Next, oh, here we get Honey Badger. Honey Badger's in the game, baby. Let's go. And they get Peacock and 2 apples. Badger and Peacock attack each other. Badger faints. Peacock receives 3 damage, but you can see because of the apple, it's still got 1 health remaining and it's at 4 power. Also, I think it'll gain an extra apple. Yep, because it got hurt. Let's go. Badger's faint ability, it says set aside when playing your next pet, yada yada. So we'll wait till we play another pet. And then Honey's faint adds 1 bee on top of the deck. So the bee is the next pet that gets played. When the next pet is played, you throw 2 rocks at each active pet. So rolls the dice, hits both pets. And then bee gets knocked out. Peacock gives another apple. And since Peacock is still remaining and this guy got no pets, this guy on the right wins. Cool, neat. FAQ, rock damage is an attack, and yes, it hurts the target. Oh, it's not an attack, and yes, it hurts the target. So, like, as you can see at the top here, like when Badger or Mosquito and Dolphin each snipe each other, like you would throw a rock and then they would attack each other, like 2 versus 2, but one of them fainted early, so that didn't get to happen. So good to know. They get to snipe and do their attack. They deal damage, 1 single total. If you run out of apples or bees, they're like, just use something to remember them. Same with damage cubes. There's not like a limited supply of those. You can do like a level up in tier 6 and you just draw from the current deck, just like the game. You can buy if you already have 5 pets, but you can't have more than 5 once you move to the battle phase. So you have to get rid of them some way. If a pet loses power and that has damage, say yes. Oh yeah, you have to show any sold or tripled pets. If there's an infinite loop, they both get knocked out after 9 times. Okay. Let's see. 2 dolphins throwing rocks at each other works. Both get to throw their rocks. Even the first player's dolphin KOs the second player's dolphin's rocks. Players always get to activate their play abilities, even if a pet faints before its ability resolves, just like in the game. Like, even if you knock out my rhino, but if I knocked out you, I still get to trigger my knockout effect, you know? What if the first player's dolphin throws rocks and KOs the second player's dog? While the dog technically gets to activate its play ability, since it was marked as fainted, it cannot gain additional power and be discarded. So since the first player token person killed the dog, they didn't get to trigger because they're already dead. And it doesn't work exactly like the game. Thumbs up. Here's the Kasich. The Kasich pack. Uh-oh, we got a typo. So here's the pets and foods in the classic pack. So we got 6 on tiers 1 and 2, 7 pets on 3 through 6, and then 1 food per tier. And then, of course, apples are kind of a special thing. I like the choice of pets here. You got a mix. You know, you got some snipers. You've got some summon stuff. You've got some, like, hurt stuff as well. No elephant. They do have blowfish. Interesting. Got skunk. Classic. We got bison, Rev's favorite. We got pineapple at tier 4. Interesting. I guess in terms of the game, card game's balance is a little bit stronger. Interesting. Let's look at the golden pack one. Golden pack. Okay. Oh, we got some, see, there's some custom exclusive pets like Raccoon, you know, was in the, right, yeah, there's Raccoon, but also look, we get like Desert Rain Frog and Honduran White Bat. That's pretty cool. I like the food choices. Avocado's pretty interesting. I'm wondering how that'll work in game. We got Giant Isopod. That's whack. We got Nurse Shark though. That's hype. I like how we get like 2 trumpet pets, about 2 trumpet pets at least for every tier. They're really going in on the trumpets, but they still have a lot of summon stuff as well. Oh, there is Macaque. Interesting. Okay, and we have Komodo. Yo, let's go. That's fun. All right, and then finally Magic Pack contents. Like I say, tier list. I guess it is a list of what's in each tier. Once again, a mix of things that are in base pack and custom exclusive. You got Basilisk, you know, and then you've got some custom exclusive stuff like the Rootling. There is Behemoth, Bakunawa. Oh man, I hope these pets aren't as broken as they are in game. Health potion on tier 4 is interesting, and I'm curious to see how the health potion will work in the game. But yeah, hey, shout outs to Arcuni for making super auto pets. And of course, Matthias. That's why they did Andreas and Matthias for the examples. Wow. Anyway, but yeah, that's the manual. So yeah, I'm super excited for the Super Auto Pets card battle. I think it looks so dope. I'm definitely going to be supporting it. I think they said they plan to have this out. Oh my gosh, 15,000 already. They're planning to have this released with like early next year, I believe, is when they're planning to ship it out. So yeah, if you're interested in this Kickstarter, you know, I'll have the link in it below. Once again, I'm not sponsored. I just want to share this because I think it's really neat and I love card games and this just seems like a really cool idea. But yeah, that's going to be it for me today. Thank you all so much for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all the generic stuff. Let me know down below what your opinion is on the card game and whether you're considering getting it. I would love to see what you all think about it below. But I'll catch you guys in the next video. But until then, as always, stay true.